Ladies and gentlemen, Kenyans are still reeling from the shock of the reckless and careless statements by the Inspector General Koome. Koome yesterday told Kenyans about hired bodies that were paraded by Azimio to hoodwink Kenyans that they were killed by the police. He also said something that has really left a lot of questions and answers, because he told the nation that as a police they are mandated to maintain law and order, and that they will not allow what is happening in our neighborhood to escalate to Kenya. What is it that is happening in our neighborhood?
We have a duty to serve a beautiful country, colleagues. We cannot allow what is happening in the neighborhood. We know what is happening in the neighboring countries. We are not going to allow that to happen to our country. We have no spare country. This is the country we are given by God, and we are going to protect it jealously. Kwa hivyo ambaye ako kule nje anafikiria atatisha polisi, anajidanganya.
We have an escalating coup d'etat, especially in West Africa, where orchestrated military personnel are taking over power from the presidents, and they say that some of those presidents are reigning terror and they don't understand their mandate to the people who elected them. Now, when Inspector General said these words and statements, it has left many wondering what is happening with the Inspector General. Was he speaking his mind? Was he communicating William Ruto's mind? And let me tell you why these statements are very precarious. The military coups that are happening are being orchestrated by the military themselves. It is not the people who go on demonstrations that take over power. It is the military. And so for Inspector General to say that they will not allow military coup to happen in Kenya, who was he targeting? To the best of my knowledge, as the man who is heading the police, one of the things that he should really guard is his tongue. Because now Kenyans are asking this question. If he was speaking his mind, then we must all agree that he was very careless and reckless, and that he doesn't know what to say, when to say it, and how to say it. Because trying to connect demonstrations with military coup is something that you don't even add the dots and find the answer. But if he was not speaking his mind, because how could he just wake up and speak about a military coup? Because his speech came just days after the ICC prosecutor jetted out of the country, and then William Ruto signed the anti-ICC law. It means he was told, you go and speak, because now we are safe. We have been told that we will get away with this. Did William Ruto send him? And if the president of Kenya sent him to communicate, why? Does it mean that the president has got no trust with the military? You see, matters that pertain to the military are very sensitive, and they are not supposed to be discussed. If you've noticed, the military wing does not speak so much. They don't like their issues being discussed. And the only reason I'm delving on this discussion is because the Inspector General himself brought it to the public limelight, thereby leaving room for a lot of speculation, because one, the Inspector General is not part and parcel of the military. In any case, whenever there are such coup d'etats, they always declare everyone as civilian, including the police. That is why, as sensitive as it is, he is the one who started the conversation, so we weigh in on it. is there a mistrust within the military ranks and files? The reason I'm asking this question is, sometimes back, the Kenya Kwanza team had informed Kenyans that they were not very much okay with the elevation of the now head of military, Major Francis Ogolla. I don't know the rank. I know he's more than the major now, but allow me to use that. And at some point, the Kapsaret Member of Parliament, Oscar Sudi, said it clear that there are men and women who can lead the military, and he was wondering why Ogolla was still in service. It didn't start there anyway. In the bombers of Kenya during the presidential case between Raila and Ruto, Wafula Chebukati and of course the Kenya Kwanza team said that Ogolla led a group of people who went to bombers to force Chebukati to announce Raila as the winner of the 2022 August elections or force a rerun. And as such, it later came out that he didn't want Ruto to be declared the winner. He tried to subvert the will of the people. And they were using that to implicate him that he was not fit to hold the office of the head of the military. Because according to Tonje rule, he was the one who was poised to occupy that space. Because you all know that Tonje rule circulates that position from the Navy to the Army to the Air Force. As the Air Force boss, and this is something that was really made intentionally by the former president, who elevated him to be the Deputy Chief of General Staff, so that in the next rank, he was poised to be there because the rule had indicated that it was the time for the Air Force. And because Ogolla was the senior most in the Air Force, he was elevated together with the Mbadi, the man who was manning Nairobi Metropolitan Services. But William Ruto came in and he decided that he was doing away with everything that was initiated by Uhuru Kenyatta. It was only Tonje rule that perhaps saved Ogolla. So by that, and now him being the head, and we hear the head of the police telling us that they will not allow military coups to happening in Kenya, yet Ogolla, who was never wanted, is now the head. Doesn't it leave room for speculation? Because I personally believe that we have a very disciplined force. Even when we had demonstrations and the police were killing people in the streets, they never spoke. They never showed us anything to the effect that they are dissatisfied with the government. And so for a police officer to come and implicate, that was an indirect implication of our disciplined military. And in a way, he is making it look that he's speaking for William Ruto. And in a way, he is trying to portray a picture that William Ruto does not trust the military, something that is very dangerous. And I think our Inspector General should be called to order. These are the kind of statements that, really elicit a lot of tension for nothing. Because people are now asking in the streets, why? If these coup d'etats were happening from wananchi, from the citizens themselves, then the Inspector General was right, because they are supposed to deal with the people in the streets. That is their job. But they don't have the mandate of dealing with the military. And that's why I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, is there a mistrust between the head of state, who is the commander-in-chief of all the armed forces? Is he afraid of the armed forces? But from where I sit, I believe that Kenya is safe under our military, and that we cannot degenerate to the levels of the Niger and the Burkina Faso. But I must say that let our leaders, including the police boss, guard their tongue. Let them not say something that is tantamount to some negative interpretation. Like he said, the only thing that he said that I want to agree with is that we only have one country that we were given by God, and that is Kenya.